Hello, good morning. I'm Deanne, and welcome to Power English for Foreign Execs. This is a channel for business people who are currently working with American-based U.S. companies, either in their home country or in the United States, where I am, or for those rising stars who wish to work in American companies and want to learn uh, many of the strategies and things that they need to be successful. Um, before I start, let me just say Happy Lunar New Year. Oh, I should say that correctly. Happy Lunar New Year. And welcome to this channel who have not been here before. And may I also say Happy Valentine's Day, which will be coming up soon. And for the month of February, for Americans who are watching this, Happy Black History Month, celebrating the contributions of African Americans to the United States. Anyway, how are you? Today, this is going to be part two of a two-part series on elevating or leading strategies that, and specifically now geared towards Asian executives, but anyone here can use the information because I think it's really significant and key for success. It's to talk about different strategies that we can use in the American workplace in order to be successful. So, in the previous video, I talked about in part one strategies 1 through 5. So today we're talking about strategies 6 through 10. So I'm trying to keep these videos very short, but sometimes it goes a little bit longer, but the information is clear. What I'd like to advise the executives who do watch this is that please learn these strategy titles as part of your Power English exercises because they will come up not only in conversations like this, but also in your workplace performance evaluations. Like, how is Joe doing in? And then I'm going to list all these different strategies. Um, so become familiar with these particular titles so that you can converse in them when you're talking with, your own supervisor or you're networking and saying, by the way, in your company, how do you handle flexibility and adaptability? How do you handle cross-cultural communication? So those kinds of things really enhances and increases your level of Power English. Now, how do I define Power English for me? It is the effective use of English words and phrases and idioms and expressions and understanding cultural nuance and being culturally aware of the American workplace environment and how do you navigate within it. That's where I come in, and that's how I would like to help you enhance and increase and improve those abilities. As you know, standard English is not enough. So therefore, the more that you know about these types of phrases and idioms and expressions, the better it will be for you in the American marketplace. So we're going to do strategies number 6 through 10. So number 6 strategy, seek feedback and self-reflection. Seek feedback and also conduct your own self-reflection. So it's about developing your people skills. And you certainly can ask your team. You certainly can talk with your supervisor, not only just doing an evaluation, um, but try to get feedback from them. Are you as clear and direct as you need to be? Also ask yourself, are you being as clear and direct? American uh, work environments likes to have clear and very direct and assertive um, information. You cannot be fuddling about. You cannot be indirect. You have to also be transparent. So the more clear and direct you are, even with deadlines, just don't say, I need it in 2 weeks. I need it. Well, you can say you need something in 2 weeks, but also try to put dates on it if you can, so that there is as much clarity as possible. And if your team cannot get you the information by the deadline that you have asked for, um, that they should feel comfortable enough to come to you and say, hey, we're not able to get it in this time. And then you say, well, what are you suggesting? If you really want to hold tight to that particular deadline because you have to back up your own needs from other places for information, then you have to share that with them. So you may want to talk with your team after a meeting and say to them individually, you don't have to ask them as a group because some people are not very comfortable in groups. Well, how do you think that, I came across in the meeting? Are there any aspects that I may have overlooked and did not consider while we were talking in the meeting? So I think those are good things, but it takes a very confident person to say those things so that the questions don't come out like, did I do okay? No, that's very weak. Do you think that there were things that I did not talk about that would have been significant or key for the meeting we just had? That's a lot different. So that still sounds that you're asking for input, but you're not being meek or weak about it. Asking for information is never weak. It's the tone in which you ask for it. Next thing, embrace diversity and inclusion. I dedicated a whole episode to the DEI efforts within an organization. DEI means diversity of different cultures and understanding them, the equity of these cultures, the equanimity in these cultures, in the work environment that you're responsible for, and inclusion. Are they heard? Are their opinions or perspective respected? You have to include all those intangibles within the team to make it a very successful and comfortable and collegial environment. So this is how you will you'll foster inclusion and collaboration. Okay, the next strategy is effective decision making. So it goes hand in hand with the previous one here. So when you are making a decision, at least before it, you're going to collect as much research and data as possible, and even experts from the outside of your department, or maybe even outside the company, to get for you to make a well-informed decision. So, and that's before the decision is made. And then during the decision-making process, you try to get diverse perspectives, to collect more data, more research. You also want to, in that, during that process, is that you are looking at the impacts of short-term perspectives and long-term perspectives. As you get to know your team well, you will be able, not may be able, you will be able to identify those who have really good skills in identifying short-term impact, short-term needs of a project. And those are really good in taking the long view. So if you're looking for someone, or if you're looking for people who will give you the long view impact, you're not going to necessarily ask those who are really good at short-term impact perspective, and vice versa. But it's great when you are able to identify those skill sets on your team and also of yourself. If you're a long-term view person, you really should have members on your team that also can give you feedback in short term and vice versa, um, for a project. So make sure, and then even after the decision is made, you can always ask, the necessary things like, did you demonstrate, you can assess yourself. Did you demonstrate flexibility and adaptability with the challenge of this decision? It's not that you are second guessing or you have doubts, but you just want to make sure that along the way, if any surprises are coming in and you are given feedback about it, that they may be at the that they may be integral in the decision making, and you may have to adjust and be flexible, you know. So if you like this particular kind of information that I'm sharing and you find that it's helpful to you, please let me know. I invite you to subscribe and press the like button and comment. I appreciate hearing different voices and perspectives. And I know YouTube would also appreciate that too, but I certainly would appreciate your feedback. That would be very, very helpful to me. And also, if you would like one-on-one conversation to talk about uh, challenges that you face within the work environment, and or getting along with colleagues, and the kind of personal skills that you need, either in interview techniques or in resume writing, I'd be glad to speak with you. You can find my information in the description box below, and I look forward to hearing from you and to talking with you. Okay, let's move on. Next thing, lead by example. It sounds very simple, but it's looking at your values, your ethics. Uh, is your behavior in these areas in line with the high standards that you set for yourself and also that the company has set for itself? Are you behaving in those ways that are showing the best of you and the best of your company and the best of the people that you hire or you are working with? So your example is your behavior. It's not only what you say in meetings, but how you conduct yourself overall. What is and another phrase, another expression, what is your moral compass? If if you are working with a company that is not very transparent and you are a transparent person, you have to see how you can adapt to that particular type of company culture, for example. Okay. And then the next strategy, develop emotional intelligence. And I must tell you, ladies and gentlemen, it's nothing new when we talk about emotional intelligence, but it becomes so important in this day and age. And developing emotional intelligence is just simply means, are you a person that can show compassion and empathy um, in your behavior with your team or with anyone in the company and in life in general? Can you show your vulnerability sometimes? So you can still be a confident person, and showing your vulnerability still makes you a confident person. That's just another aspect of your character. Um, so you can certainly talk with others about how you can seek out a mentor so that you can see within the company people that you admire and their emotional intelligence. For example, if someone on your team has recently lost a child has died, or you have that person has lost her husband, and yes, they have returned to work, but that doesn't mean that their grief can immediately stop and then they can go to work, because grief takes a different length of time for each of us. Some people can recover a little bit faster than others, but still there has to be this time of grief. And in this time of grief, while they are working, they're still thinking about their life and the person that they just lost. And you as a manager have to be very aware of that and acknowledge it. Thinking that, well, I won't say anything, I'll just talk with them if they bring it up. I think you should go ahead and make the effort to at least acknowledge the person and, spend some time and talk with that individual, because if you don't, certainly that's going to affect long-term the work that that person is doing. So you may want to make some adjustments, but don't make the adjustments in isolation of that person. Talk with the individual. This is where the transparency and your lead by example behavior of compassion and empathy and acknowledging that the person is going through a grieving process. Um, you cannot get as grieving as that individual, but you certainly can acknowledge that time of their lives, and they still have to come into work and to earn a living. Um, but perhaps, there may be some time off. Well, human resources will grant employees a certain days off, but then they have to come back to work. And it's that part where you as a manager will have to really work with and get some advice from, human resources of what you can say, what you can do, um, to really help that person while they are at the work site. Anyway, these are, some strategies. I know that there are lots and more of types of strategies that we can talk about. But I think from 1 to 10, it gives you a really good overview of the fact that you are human. You're going to show your ethical behavior and standards. You're going to reach out to your team, do and understand cross-cultural communication, getting their perspectives and feedback, make the environment collegial, um, and you're learning about yourself and your skills, and at the same time enhancing those leadership skills of yours. So let's call it a day, which means let's close now. And I hope that you have learned from this. Please use these strategy titles as part of your Power English exercises. And I look forward to seeing you next time. So have a great day. Happy Lunar New Year. Happy Black History Month. Happy Valentine's Day. See you soon.